Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Talented Learning Executive Briefing Demonstration Series. This is my favorite series of content because we get to travel the world virtually and meet with the best and most innovative learning system solutions. And today's no different. We have a specialist here with us today, DigitalChalk by Cyolytics, and we're going to learn all about their solution, their target market, and then we're going to get an in-depth demonstration of their differentiators. Can't wait. I've been looking to schedule this for a long time. And we got the whole team here, the executive team from DigitalChalk that's going to help us present their solution. But we're going to start off with Aaron. Aaron only, all yours. Take it away.
All right. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. All right. So yeah, I'm going to spend just a little bit of time here going through DigitalChalk from a business perspective, just talking about who we are, where we came from, and primarily who our target market happens to be. And then we'll let Troy dive in and show you a product demonstration to kind of highlight some really cool features and some of the functionality that apply to this particular space. So if we were to just kind of take a step back in time, somewhere around 2006, DigitalChalk was just being formed around the idea of enabling a religious university to take their current teachings and push them into an online environment. The organization was doing everything sort of brick and mortar and had decided that they wanted to spread the message far and wide. And so they went out to find a platform that would allow them to do that. And when they couldn't find one that was an exact fit for them, they contracted with our current CTO, Troy Tolley, and had him go to work building a platform for the specific purpose of being able to deliver this online training to these external learners all around the globe. And obviously, we call that extended enterprise today. And in 2007, the actual product was launched. It successfully enabled the organization to do that. And we decided at that point we would go ahead and move into more of a commercial market and take our newly founded platform to the market and focus in that extended enterprise scenario. We further specialized in continuing professional education. We have a number of clients specifically in the real estate industry, not-for-profits, skilled trades and associations that we've taken the platform to, and currently have over 1,000 clients in those particular areas. We've got organizations that are delivering this training to this extended enterprise audience, either for-profit, so sort of a learning, you're learning as a business kind of scenario, or delivering training as a value add to their memberships in the case of associations and not-for-profits. Some of the 1,000 clients that we have, are large names like Coca-Cola Bottling Association, Harley Davidson Learn to Ride, Samaritan's Purse, and others. And then we have a lot of organizations that are smaller real estate academies with maybe 20 or 30 employees that are delivering continuing education training to real estate agents in states all around the U.S. To the tune of thousands of real estate agents per year. Taking a little deeper dive into the space that we've really targeted and focused on, this continuing education business. You, John, know this quite well, but ultimately they face some very different challenges than sort of that corporate learner, right? An organization a company that's training its employees can just go about assigning or mandating training to those employees, and so they have to launch the training, take the training, and they do it often for the purposes of risk mitigation or something along those lines. When you're in the continuing education space, you're in that customer training space, you have different challenges because it's not a mandatory need for them to come and take training from you, There are other providers out there. In the case of real estate academies, there are a number of real estate academies in each state that are all competing for the same business. And so you have to make sure that you're tackling some very important key issues for them. Number one, you have to have a way for them to really create and update compliant courses. Without the courses that they're delivering online, without them being able to quickly spin these courses up and make sure they're compliant, they don't have business. So we have tools that can certainly help organizations with that. We want to make sure that the platform can market and sell these courses to the students and the organizations in a way that is very engaging, that gives them the opportunity to quickly search course catalogs and find exactly what they're looking for, and then want to be able to quickly pay for those courses and then take the training. And in certain cases, if there's an issue with the course or there needs to be a refund, you want to be able to process those refunds. You want to make sure that the organization that you're doing business with and the platform itself is testing those learners, issuing certificates, tracking and reporting the education hours, allowing the organization to do financial analysis and reporting, primarily, again, because they're a business. They're providing, a lot of these organizations are providing this service as a business, and they're charging for that service. You want to make sure that you're not only delivering a really exciting, engaging experience, but you want to take the Amazon approach, and you want to be able to cross-sell and upsell your courses and your programs to generate more revenue for your business. You want to make sure that it's following all the standard compliance designs, and make sure you're ADA and EOC DEI compliant in your design, and your platform can be used to push programming out to those audiences so that you're maximizing the use of your program. And then, a lot of times you want to be able to deliver training to companies, not just to an individual learner, but you want to deploy training. Some of these organizations deploy training to other companies that already have an existing learning management system. And by doing that, you sometimes can lose control of your IP. You have some real issues or concerns around being able to control your intellectual property, to make sure that people aren't gaming the system and getting access to courses, and you're not getting paid for it. So we have tools that allow you to manage and control all of that as well. And while I'll say that you're going to get to see all those features and all the functions, you're going to really get an opportunity to explore and take a look at those, I'd say that's not really the core value of the platform. That's the functionality of the platform, and Troy's going to show you that. We've got all that, and it's great. But really, where we excel is providing that end user support to all of the people accessing the system, all of our customers, and then providing the white glove exceptional report support to the organization itself. So we really stand behind the idea that customer service is job one around here, and we really put our money where our mouth is there. We provide some services, I think, that are above and beyond many of the companies in the market when it comes to that. Not only do we engage you right up front in the sales process and sit and consult with you and understand who you are, what your needs are, what you're trying to accomplish, what your business goals are, and then sell you a platform that'll do it. But during the implementation, we give you that white glove treatment, and we hold your hand throughout. It doesn't matter if it takes us 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks to roll out the solution. We're going to be there for you. We're going to continue to make sure that you understand what the platform's capabilities are and that you're able to use them. And then when we hand you off officially to our account management and support teams, you're going to have an account manager that's going to be able to help you along the way, guide you through the platform, make sure that you're you're thoroughly successful in the usage of the platform. Should you have any questions, we're not just going to answer the question, we're going to train you. We're going to provide ongoing training to you in the way of weekly office hours. We're going to train new administrators as you promote them or they come on board. We'll provide, continued training to all of them. And we'll just continue to hold your hand throughout. We view ourselves as truly a partner with the organizations that we do business with. And that's really, once again, that's job one for us, is making sure that our clients are overall successful. And so, with that in mind, in terms of the challenges that these businesses face, we're going to dive into some of the features here on the slide, and we're going to show you all of these. I won't go through the list because Troy's going to hit these along the way, but these are all of the key components of the platform that help us overcome the challenges that these continuing education businesses face.
Awesome.
And so with that, I'll go ahead and open it up. John, if you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them. If not, we'll kick it over to Troy and he can dive right on in and show us the platform.
All right, cool. Nice overview. Known you guys in the market for a long time, and you've been a perennial winner here in our awards. So it's great to bring the solution to everybody. Troy, no pressure. Geez, Aaron really set you up here for quite the demonstration. So yeah, just take a deep breath. Hey, just want to clarify from a global standpoint. Are you primarily focused here in North America at this point, or no?
No, we do have an international presence. Certainly the all of the support, all of the design, the implementation, all of that type of programming is here in the U.S. But we do have a global presence, and certainly, given that it's the internet, you can take training and sell it anywhere in the world. We've got multi-currency capabilities that allow organizations to be able to sell all of their content globally.
Nice. And if you had to say, from like a SMB to like the largest continuing education providers in the world, does your solution cover the gamut? Do you focus on somewhere in that range more than others?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, trying to figure out where you fit in the market is always important. It's an enterprise grade platform. So certainly the capability and the functionality and the support and scalability is there to be able to provide the solution to any type of organization of any size. But we often find ourselves working with sort of that mid-market. So we like to work in that space. We feel like in that space there are fewer companies out there that are really interested in that space. Lots of companies want to be in that SMB market with lots of small, quick wins, and then there are a lot of those out there like Cornerstone that are trying to gobble up the really large organizations. So we find ourselves fitting nicely in that mid-market.
Nice. Sounds great. All right. Well, Troy, all yours. Take it away.
All right, Troy, I will stop sharing and you can go to it.
All right. All right, do we see my screen?
I can. Thank you.
All right. Very good. John, thanks for having us today. Really appreciate it. I'm excited about showing you the product. Really, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to try to show you as many different things as I can. We're not going to be able to deep dive into every little feature and nook and cranny of the system, but I do want to do some flybys of things that really kind of set DigitalChalk apart and how we create courses and manage people and do different things in the product that might be different than some of the other products that you've seen. So first of all, I'll start here with the login page. Login page is fully customizable by our customers. This is a real estate site, a real estate school, very typical for a DigitalChalk customer. The login page can be present or absent, meaning if you have single sign-on with your organization, this login page doesn't even need to exist. We give you the ability to have a custom login page if you like it, and we can manage all that credentialing for you. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'm signing in really with kind of this hybrid role. I'm a learner and I'm an administrator. So this allows me to see both roles simultaneously. Every learner, when they log in, will land on what we call the dashboard. It's a dashboard of courses that they've currently been registered for. So you'll see here the courses that I'm registered for. You can see a banner up here that has, you can put announcements up here, anything that you want to kind of dress out the page for your learner. It's a very easy system to navigate. For instance, if I just want to dive into one of my courses, let's look at what a learner might see. So I can dive right into this customer service course. This is one that we'll be using quite a bit, and I'll show you different functions and features of this course. First thing that you'll notice about the course is I can see the progress. So every student knows exactly where they are, how much time they have left, how they work through this course. They can see here different sections of the course. So obviously, we'll talk about sections, but our authors can divide their courses up into sections. They can add all sorts of material for the course, and the learner has a very comprehensive view of exactly where they are in their learning environment. You can see here that they've downloaded this course syllabus, so it's checked off. It doesn't really contribute to the grade, but it's checked off that we can track that they've done that. This effective customer service PowerPoint presentation, they got 100% on it. We can actually grade PowerPoints through the SCORM standard. So when you upload a PowerPoint, we send that through a process, converts it to SCORM that's deliverable on the platform. And finally, you see that they've navigated to this customer video, this customer service video. Off to the right-hand side, you'll see what we call comments. These are just discussion points that a student or a learner can have back and forth with their instructor about that specific piece of the course. So it really ties the question right to the element of the course without having to have some generic question across all the elements in the course, because we have obviously courses that contain hundreds and hundreds of different elements. So it's very hard to manage some of that content. Let's look at what it might look like if you launch a particular element in this course. You can see that I've navigated down through 4 or 5 of these, and click on this next one here. So this is a video element in the course, and I'll show you how to create this a little bit later. But simple responsive video, I can hit play. You can see here within the video, you can see the captions of this video, so I can enable the captions for the video. I can change things like speed of the video. I can fast forward this video in this respect. Once you complete that video, it'll allow you to continue the course. So we've tracked all of that. You can see here it's marked off. So this is the general student flow as they're going to navigate through the course. Different things can be checked off. One of the things that I want you to notice here is I'm able to take this in any order right now. So we'll talk about how you create your courses, but one of the options is to allow everything to be publicly available all at once. And so the student can navigate it at their leisure, however they want to, in any order. All right. I want to draw your attention to this discussion tab over here. So every offering or course can be published with discussions enabled. So the students that have registered for this course can now interact with each other. Our discussion features much like Slack. It's a Slack for courses. So when a student's in their course, they can join in the discussion. They can cut and paste links off the internet. We'll go grab that content, embed it within the discussion. You can see here someone posted a YouTube link. It's going to embed that YouTube link right within the discussion. We have your typical reactions, so thumbs up and smiley faces, as well as threaded discussion. So if you reply here, it's going to thread that discussion right in line with this course. All right. So the next thing I really want to do is kind of set the stage for how do we build these courses. But first, I want to go a little bit into the back end of administration, because the administration piece really helps us drive the delivery of some of these courses. So one of the main areas of administration is user management, right? Every system has to have some sort of user management. I can click in here, and I want to draw attention to this top bar, this navigation bar. You're going to see this everywhere within the site. one of the things that we try to do at DigitalChalk is to make things very simple and repeatable. So it's understood in every context that you're in within the site. Users are no different. Every listing page is going to have this bar up here. This bar is going to have our custom paging component, which we've designed to try to be very responsive. So it works on the phone, iPad, desktops. It's a little bit different. It allows you to collapse the paging down if you don't want to see it. Next, you'll see an available search and sort capability. So how do you want to sort this? Ascending, descending, about all the properties. Every page will come with this paging component, and I can store how many items per page I want to see. And then finally, over here to the right, I see my search component. One of the things I want to call out on the search component is it's very easy to search, right down, to the individual person just by typing in. But if I want to get more complex and I'm doing things that I need to operate in bulk on, every listing component, every object in the system has this advanced search capability. And this allows me to look at all the properties in the system and really tie those things to the exact search that I want. For instance, here, I know the system knows I'm in a search context for a user. And so it looks at everything that I can ever pull about a user and allows me to search individually on those things or put them in combination. So for instance, if I wanted to look for the account status being active, and I wanted for people to be in the US, then I can apply those search criteria and it's going to filter that down. And I can do as many filters as I want, stack those all together. And those are all in the context of every single item within the system. So users, on a particular user, let me search for myself here. Have your standard fields, right? Everybody's got a first name, last name, some sort of email address. You can optionally use a username here if you want to have a unique username where people don't all have email addresses. We give the option to capture the address in particular formats. So in a US format, in other international formats for address. Everybody can have an image. And then down here, each individual person can select their own language. So the first thing we do is try to do a browser detect to get the language of the user. The second thing is they can actually set a preference. Then the entire system will change for that language for that user. Finally, down here, they can specify their time zone. Time zones are important, especially in the compliance world for testing, for reporting. So, in an extended enterprise, there are standard reports that have to be sent to the compliance bodies. And those reports have to be run and understood within the context of a time zone. And so time zones are important to store on a user, but also in context of the reports. And those work in tandem with each other so that we can produce the exact right results for the exact timing that someone needs.
Yeah, Troy had said extended enterprise. He meant continuing ed, obviously for the regulators. But I think that's just to reinforce that a little bit, John. That is a huge part of the value that we provide. Is whether you're an insurance, a vendor of insurance education in Oklahoma or real estate in Oregon, your regulator is going to have at least one or two really intriguing, let's say, requirements for how they need that data delivered. And more often than not, we hear, my current provider just can't do it. Can you? And the answer is always yes, because we've just done so much of this with so many different regulatory bodies. So, this really is as good a platform as you can get for CE. Sorry, Troy, back to you.
Brett, let's dig into that just 1 second here. And just for the listeners, what would be one of those peculiar things? Like, what does that mean? Like,
so we've got certain providers, regulators who need a course to be available for a very specific period of time. Like, it has to be 81 days from the moment they start the course until it expires. And if they have not completed it within 81 days, then the course has to be gone from their catalog. They cannot be complete. We have that availability. So whether it's 81 days, 90 days, 4 months, however those regs are written, that's a piece of it. In the reporting, we have a requirement in multiple regulators in multiple states that literally go down to the second. So we have to be able to provide that timing in the reporting to the second, and we're able to do that and show how the limitations worked within the platform. So again, that's just one of many areas that we have to show. We're talking a lot about time right now, but there's also, are you monitoring, where they're logging in from, all of those other pieces. That all is part of our platform. We are built for CE.
So would it be fair to say that CE in some industries, a lot of industries, not all industries, is following regulations that are dictated by the state or province level? And so if you're providing CE in multiple states, you're juggling multiple requirements simultaneously?
Absolutely. And John, I'm telling you something here, but the regulations, I think in 2020, people were panicked. They migrated to online very rapidly, and the states were like, just do it, get it out there, educate them. That's great. And then about a year later, the states were kind of like, hey, let's rein this in just a little bit. Let's put some, boxes around this. Let's regulate it. Now we're at a point where the state is like, you have to show us this, and this. You have to show us that they took the test within 24 hours of reading this document, or they have to attest to, these certain actions and behaviors. They have to demonstrate. They have to demonstrate that they can use the skill. Did you observe them, or did you videotape them using the skill as part of the course? So, it's all things like that have just gotten more and more structure around them.
I see. Cool. Hey, well, thanks for educating me. Anybody else listening, you're self-identifying right now if you have any of these challenges, for sure. But please continue.
Great. So beyond the regular things that you can collect about a user normally, we also have what we call user fields. And these are custom fields that you can decorate every single user within the system. And you can see here under the More Information tab, I have two groups of user fields. One is a licensing group with licensing number and whether or not this person is a broker, and then, a birth date that can fill in. So we allow you to create user fields in as many formats as you would like. So you can see here, here are those two groups of user fields. And I can add more simply by doing add new user field. And you can see all the different types of user fields that we support. Every form that you can imagine, we can collect. So anything from additional email addresses that you need, any dates like hire dates, decimals, check boxes, all of those things are possible. Not only can we collect them at the user level, so when the user logs in, they're asked to provide this information. We can also secure that down just for administrators. So if you need to collect things like, an internal employee ID of someone, you can turn this on, turn it on to admin only, and only admins of the system can now fill this out. This is important when you start to segment your users by some of these user fields. Some things that you don't want them to change.
I assume you can populate that too from external sources.
Yes, absolutely. So you can do that. In user management, we allow you to load users either, one by one. You can import them through CSVs. And when you do that, you can map every single one of your user fields. So if you have a spreadsheet with everything that you need, we allow you to do a dynamic mapping to all user fields within the system and upload that into DigitalChalk.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So let's get into course creation. So this is really the heart of DigitalChalk exists within the course creation. We do things a little bit differently. I'm going to go to that customer service course. I'm going to dive in right here. So how do we do things differently in terms of course creation? I think one of the big things is there's many systems out there. You upload a SCORM file to create your course, and that is the course. So they're usually limited to a single element with a certificate, something like that. You're not building courses out of multiple elements. Within DigitalChalk, we give you the freedom to create a single course out of hundreds of elements. and different element types. We allow you to put those all together. So the first level of this is it's almost like a miniature learning path right within a single course. We can actually enforce rules as you navigate those elements. Then we divide those into sections, and then you can divide courses into bundles, and then you can have rules that register you into multiple courses that give you extended learning paths. So you have a learning path on top of micro learning paths on top of divided sections. So really, we've given all the power to the author to make sure that people navigate in exactly the way that you need them to go through that course. So let's go through some of those settings right here. So every course, has the standard name, instructor, and whether or not what the passing grade is, if you have a passing grade. We have a delivery type. And you saw when I was taking as a student, all of the elements were available for me to click through. Now I have multiple options here. I can actually say, hey, you can only do one thing at a time through the course. You can go one section at a time through the course. All elements at once, meaning everything that you saw on the screen was available to the student. And finally is calendar based. We live in a world where asynchronous delivery enables a student to do it anytime, but you can also enforce a calendar based delivery so the elements are delivered on specific dates given a start date. And that start date can be driven dynamically when they registered, when they started the course, when they completed a different course. Visibility, every element in the system can be said whether it's visible by default or not, meaning you can hide elements from a learner until they're able to take them. So they don't know exactly what's coming next. We can still tell them the progress through the course, but hide kind of the title and what's upcoming. And finally, a really neat feature that we've added is something called a review period. And so instead of leaving a course open forever in someone's dashboard, we allow that course to be completed, moved over to a completed courses section, and then you can configure review periods for the content in that course. And you have multiple ways to do that. One is you can specify forever, meaning they have access to the course content forever. You can lock it down to number of days after completion or after registration if they have only so many days past registration. Or just shut it all off when they complete the course. But it doesn't have to apply just to, the completion of the course. You can actually separate that to different strategies for passing and failing. So if someone passes the course and you want to give them access to the content forever, then you can do that. But if they fail the course, you can say, hey, you don't have access to the content anymore after that. So we're able to split that up for you. We're going to go on down here through authoring. You can actually specify multiple authors for a course, and this gives the permission set to multiple people on your team to edit this course content, or you can set it just to you or only course authors, which is a role within the system. We have flexible rules for completion of a course, so it doesn't just have to be completing all the content. You can add criteria for completion, like if they fail a test, you could kick them out of the course. After a certain number of days, you can say, hey, after 180 days after they began the course, they need to be done, and it will close the course down after 180 days. So all of these rules are combined together, and you can add as many as you want of these rules. It helps you really customize the delivery of your course. Grading. We've added very flexible course grading. Because we give you the ability to add hundreds of different elements to the course, all having their own individual grades, there needs to be a very easy way for you to come up with a total grade for the entire course. And so we've done something called syllabus style grading here, where you can create categories of grading, and then you would add the individual elements to those categories to give you an overall grade. You can think of this a lot like your college classes, where you have 10% for homework and your final exam is worth 50% and your midterm is worth 40%. That style of grading is available.
I always hate that high percent on attendance.
On attendance?
Yeah. I digress. Continue.
One of the things that you can tie directly to the course is the gamification feature. So you can create games within DigitalChalk, assign points based upon the completion of a course or certain elements of the course, and assign badging that is compliant with the open badging specification. You can take that badge, put it in your backpack, and show it off. All right, so let's dive in a little bit into the elements. So I talked to you a little bit about how we're unique in allowing you to add multiple elements to a course and divide those into sections. So let's look at a couple of those. I'm not going to go into every single element within the course, but I'll kind of do a flyby here of the different types that we support. The first element is an assignment. I'll show you one of those. A certificate. So a certificate can actually be awarded anytime within a course. You can actually put certificates throughout the course. This again supports that micro learning path right within a course. You can award different certificates during the taking of that course. A chalkboard. This is really where DigitalChalk started. A chalkboard is a combination of video and slides and chapter points and checkpoints. You can actually upload that video content that you saw and then upload slides next to that. Synchronize those things together along with checkpoints. So as somebody's watching the video, instead of just being able to watch it and walk away, hit play and walk away, we actually allow you to add checkpoints to that video that will pop up, ask a question, and then they have to hit OK or they have to answer that question before they can continue within the video. So the chalkboard is a synchronized delivery of the video plus slides plus checkpoints. External sites. So many times you want to send your learners off to an external site. You want to be able to track that they've actually gone to that site. We can pass metadata information off to that site so that we can send that site the information on that student. So now you've got a tie between that site and your LMS, and you can know what they've done on that site.
Troy, are you going to speak any more about chalkboards later? You're going to come back around? Okay, so you're going to talk about okay, great. Because, John, a lot of the things that we were talking about the regulator requirements tie to chalkboards as well. So I'll circle back on that conversation just a touch when Troy's on that. Sorry, Troy.
File downloads, any resources that you need to hand to your students. Instructor-led. So we integrate with multiple products, Zoom, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining, WebEx. We have very deep integrations with those platforms. And what I mean by deep integration is our APIs and their APIs talk to one another. So if you have a Zoom account with us or with Zoom, you could go into the instructor-led, create a session right within your course, and it will send those invites out automatically and also track attendance. So when they come in the door of the Zoom session, it will automatically track attendance for you, so you don't have to do all of that management. Learning packages, as any good LMS should, we should support the standard learning package types. We support SCORM, we support AICC, XAPI, Web Archives, and PowerPoint. And we consider all of those things learning packages because you're uploading a zip file or some combination of files that conforms to a standard that we're able to interpret and track in a very detailed manner. A web archive to us is really a zip file of HTML files or images in HTML files. We're able to host a website right within DigitalChalk for you if you upload that content to us and then track your progress through that website. Tests and surveys I'll show you in detail, but you're able to create these right within our platform. It allows us to expose all the reporting individual questions that you got right and wrong. And then lastly, video element that you saw, and this is a standalone video element. So let's dive in a little bit. That first video element that I showed you is here. We can dive in and look at that. We can look at the content of this element. You can see this content was associated. Right here, we allow the instructor to prevent the user from fast forwarding. This is kind of what Brett was talking about during the regulatory process. They have to be online for a specific amount of time watching that content. And so we are able to force that, but not allowing them to fast forward. And also we can turn off that playback speed so they can't go double time. Some people can view that as evil, but that is available within the system.
Evil's making them go halftime. 50% speed. Take that.
Forcing it to halftime. So that's that video element. Let's look at the test element as well. And I wanted to show you this because test is extremely flexible. We've built a full testing system right within DigitalChalk. So, like you would go buy an off-the-shelf test creation tool, we've actually built that for you here. So you don't have to go try to integrate multiple products just to get testing. And so you can see that with tests, we can limit the number of attempts that you have on a test. We can force you to one attempt, have it must pass. Then you can configure your tests in multiple different ways. You can force a test to be forward only, meaning they have to take one question and they go on, they can't go backwards. So once they've answered it, it's done. You can allow them to change answers if you would like. We also allow you to shuffle all the questions. So think of, question pooling. If you create 100 questions for your test, you only want to deliver 10. We allow all of those things, plus timing. So you can time your test to an hour, however long you want, and then each individual question can also be timed. I wanted to show you a couple of the types of questions that you can add. So it's a very robust engine for delivering all of these question types, and both of these are available for both surveys and for tests. Text choices, you can think of this as multiple choice. We can do single select or multi-select. Picture choices, obviously you're showing pictures and having them pick a visual indicator. True, false, and drop downs, very self-explanatory. Agreements allow us to capture an agreement or acknowledgement of something happening within the system. And so it signs this by the user, and they're not able to continue in the course. You can actually kick them out if they don't agree to whatever you need them to agree to. Many times this is, hey, it's only me taking this test and nobody else is helping me. So it's a self-acknowledgement. But we also integrate with proctoring platforms that can be watching that as well. The next three are text-based questions. Fill in the blank, short text, and long text. So long text is essay, short text is obviously just a paragraph or a sentence, but fill in the blank allows you to actually put in fuzzy matches. So you can actually build your own fill in the blank question and then have multiple answers for every blank so that you can kind of guess what the students might answer and give them full credit for. Rating scales and opinion scales can both be graded just like you would on a test or a survey. You can do an ordering question, and then finally a matrix. I'll give you a look at what one of these might look like. So here is a text choice question, a multiple choice question. You can ask your question. You can add some details of the question if you'd like, and then you enter the different answers. We do keyboard input, obviously for people who just use the keyboard. You can select A, B, C, D, E, but detect the right choice, shuffle the questions, allow multiple responses. We'll turn this into checkboxes instead of radio buttons. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to show you an advanced question type. Really is this matrix. This is not one you see very often in systems, but our matrix questions allow you to put any number of columns across the top, any number of rows down the side, and then all sorts of different options. So in case you need to really make sure that nobody's copying or cheating, you can actually shuffle these columns and rows on every single delivery. And you can choose whether or not this should also be radio buttons or checkboxes based upon can they put more than one answer per row or per column. Finally, every question has custom grading that you can attach to it. So in this case, for a matrix, you can see that I've assigned 1 point per correct answer, but I can also, grade this matrix based upon a row being correct, or if every answer in the entire matrix is correct. So it gives you multiple grading strategies for every single type of question within the system. Last thing I'll touch on within tests is feedback. You can choose to give the learner feedback as they navigate through a test, whether they got something correct or incorrect. And you can choose to do that at the time they took the question or at the very end of the test.
Mm-hmm. Troy, what's the relationship between questions and courses? Is it questions are tied to a particular course?
Yeah, so you have a course. This is our customer service course. Within that course, you have a test, and within that test, you have questions. Now, based upon the answers of those questions, you'll get a particular grade. If you get 100, and then that 100 will go into this practice exams category, grading at 10% of the entire course.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, John?
Yes, thank you.
Great. So that's the basics of kind of building a course. We'll go down to categories. A brief overview here. Every single offering within the system or course within the system can be put into categories. This just enables easier navigation of those courses. Courses can be in multiple categories if you would like. This also enables the rule system, which I will talk to you about in a minute. So we organize our courses into offerings, and you hear me use those almost interchangeably, and that's because a learner only interacts with the offering of a course. So a course you can think of as a blueprint, and this allows you not to have to go in and modify the course for every season that you want to offer that course in. So many of our schools deliver one course in the summer, one course in the fall, one course in the winter, one course in the spring. It's actually the same course, but it's a different offering. And so you can think of this as courses in sections like you would in college. You'd have section 1, section 2, section 3. It's the same meat, same material delivered in a different way. So I can look at some of the setup for that. So this is my offering for that customer service course. You can see that has the information that I might need to kind of publish this course, put these categories on there, who the author is. Facilitators, this is who has access to grade the course and to look at the progress. So you can, by role, you can assign people different roles to be able to facilitate this course. Set up all sorts of rules for registration. So this is really where it's important that you have that relationship between the offering and a course. This allows you to have like the spring course only available for registration between these dates and only available to be taken through in these dates. I can turn these off. Whether or not I want to charge for this course or not can be toggled on or off. Participation, allowing learners to retake this course as many times as they want. I can limit that number of learners for a course. I can exclude this course from the catalog if I want to and only manually register students into that. So a lot of different options for registration on the course. Every offering also can have a marketing page. And this is where, you know, we really enable our instructors to put their best foot forward. So on a marketing page, and I'll launch this a preview of this marketing page for you. So here's kind of a preview of that marketing page. You see here a header, a description, optionally some video. But down here at the bottom, I want to draw your attention to also cross-sell. This is a cross-sell, upsell type of feature down here. So associated with this particular offering, you can cross-sell and upsell other offerings. And so we have this shopping cart mentality where you can add things to your cart even before purchasing or launching this one course. Offerings can also have all the gamification features tied to it, notifications for registrations, completions, all of the typical notifications that you want to fire out. Catalog rules I'm going to get into, but this is the ability to customize the view for how this offering takes place. All right, let me dive real quick into, okay, we had courses, we have offerings, and the content of that course, real briefly, I want to show you the media library. So instead of having to upload the same content over and over again, we give you a library where you can store all of your SCORM content, all of your video content, all in one place. So if I look at particular videos here, we'll click on just maybe this one. So when a video is uploaded into our media library, we encode it 12 times for delivery on multiple devices. But we also track the versions of this content. So you can upload a new version of any piece of content, SCORM, AICC, video, and then publish that content, and it will be embedded within the courses automatically. If it's in 100 courses, it'll immediately be pushed to all 100 courses. So you don't have to keep track of the latest and greatest in every course. You can manage that all in the media library itself.
Yeah. The version control capabilities with that has been just loved by our client base.
One of the things while I'm here real quick, with videos, we do support captioning. So if you have a caption file, you can upload it. We can auto detect the language of those captions for you. But we also give you the ability to edit it right here. So if you find a spelling mistake, we can push that out to your learners immediately. Any caption can be edited, reordered, added to at any time. Same thing with chapters for a video. Let me touch on the gradebook real quick. So many of our customers, they not only just need reports, they also need to be able to manage those individual elements. Because we don't just do completion of a course, we allow you to look at the individual elements that are being completed. We needed to enable that so that you can do grading at that level, and also view the progress of each of your learners at that level. So you can see all the people that are in that course. I can filter those people down. If I wanted to go look for myself in this course, I could do that. You can see here, you saw me take this, but multiple grades can be entered here. Every element has its own ability to be graded and viewed in that context. So an assignment's going to look different than a video when you're grading it, as well as a test. Each test question can be graded and overridden by the instructor and then restored into the gradebook. And this goes directly into our reporting. So DigitalChalk offers 25 reports right out of the box. And these are the standard reports that almost everyone would need. So for instance, I can click here on this student completion report. And every report is really structured like this. And you'll see here this time zone is right up top again. This enables a report to be run within a specific time zone. Because if you're in North Carolina, it has to be Eastern's time zone that you're doing the cutoff dates for all of your learning. Midnight, in North Carolina. I can choose my date range to run these reports. And then every single property that is associated with a user completing a course is now available to you. All the custom user fields that you've created, all the dates that are associated with this learning, all available at the click of a button. I run this, I get an Excel style report that I can filter right here. And once I filter all of this down, I can do an export and run it through any BI tool that I want and get more information out of that. So if a standard report is not good enough, we also have advanced reports. All of our advanced reports allow you to do what I'm showing here. This is an example of a report that shows all new registrations in the fourth quarter. I set up my own dates. I can set up criteria for looking at the user's teams, all their profile information, anything that I want to here. And then I can have this report either emailed to me or run right on the platform. And I can include any of the columns that I want. So really, you have a very powerful reporting engine right within DigitalChalk that allows me to customize a report for the audience that I want it to go to. And that report can be delivered to that audience monthly, weekly, daily, on any cadence that you want it to go out.
And it can be HTML or CSV.
Yep. Last couple things that I'll touch on, John. Teams. This is kind of a structure above the user fields and above the managing of the users at the kind of the grouping levels. We also have hierarchical teams that you can associate all of your users into. This is powerful because you can assign team administrators over these teams that then can have access to all of the reporting and gradebook functionality for the users in those teams. Gives me access. If I'm a team manager for the US Southeast agents here, I can see every team below me and all the users within those teams. The rule system that you saw, very briefly with the reports is available with our registration rules, our catalog rules, discounts, notifications. Our rule system allows us to be very, very specific with how we're running different things within the system. And this is really the customization of DigitalChalk. So here you can see here, I want to register users with an address in Canada. So I can look at any of these conditions. The country matches Canada. I want to register them for this artificial intelligence course that is in Canada. The rule system is one of the most powerful systems that we have underneath the covers. It allows us to look at all the properties of every user, of every course, transcripts, previously taken courses, courses that are upcoming, and then customize the look and feel of the system in terms of the catalog that the user is going to receive, as well as customize every notification that goes out. Why is this important? Well, it's important, especially if you're doing things like separating Canadian customers from European customers, from US customers, or different businesses from one another. So in this example here, I've set this up as a Canadian real estate course, and it's actually sold in Canadian dollars. So I've specified that here, and now I can create a catalog specifically for users who log in, who have a location in Canada. I'm only going to show them the Canadian courses.
And this is tremendously useful for CE providers. First off, we're trying to sell a basket of courses or various offerings surrounding a given learner type, or alternatively for self-guided learning journeys.
Absolutely.
John, the system is meant for online learning, right? So we're an LMS, but many times you have the combination of online learning with offline learning. And we've actually designed a system right within DigitalChalk so that you can manage your conference rooms or conference centers to do lunch and learns, but you can manage all of your spaces right here within the platform. So if you need to reserve a room or check what amenities are available in a room, like a TV or a whiteboard, you can do that. And then you can assign events to those spaces. So here I've designed a lunch and learn that is going to occur on a specific date. It's going to do 52 times on Friday, and it allows different people to register for this lunch and learn. I can record attendance once they're there, and that can actually become a part of their grade within other courses if you would like. And one of the last things that Aaron mentioned was the ability to distribute learning to other LMSs. In the world where you own your own content, you want to sell that content, but someone doesn't necessarily want to come take it on your platform. They want to deliver it internally and track it themselves. They want to kind of have that piece of content. As Aaron said, you don't want to just give away your content. You don't want to give them the SCORM file, because then you lose track of how many times is it being launched. Who's launching it? How did they share it? Well, we've built something called Content Fortress that allows you to take those SCORM files or AICC files and upload those right here within DigitalChalk. We generate a SCORM stub that you then deliver to your partner, and then you just generate a license for that partner. So here, generate a license for Remax Washington, uploaded their SCORM file, and then you can track every single delivery, every launch, whether it was completed or not, all right here within DigitalChalk. All right, I have done a flyby. And I know that I spoke probably longer than I should have, but John, can I answer any questions for you?
No, you've been answering them here along the way. It's a really good, deep and thorough presentation. And I thank you for that, Aaron and team, and everybody joining in today. This is exactly what we needed to get to a deeper level understanding of your organization. But it's clear where you fit into the marketplace. You provide continuing education solutions for anybody that's selling or providing content in both a formalized continuing education or even in a less formal education way. So it's nice to be able to see the the diversity in how you can manage different locations, different requirements, different rules and regulations, a lot of automation and registration rules, and just automation under the hood that's driving a lot of the complex connections in between simple and more complex continuing education management. If you're in an industry, listeners, that's more highly regulated for sure. Then and understand a lot of the challenges that we've been talking about today of not being able to make these connections or trying to use an employee LMS that doesn't manage these type of connections because they don't need to. They don't need to think about the variations in that way. But if you are delivering content and you're selling content and you're doing that in multiple jurisdictions, you know that you can waste a lot of time in manual administration and sleepless nights trying to piece it all together in spreadsheets. And that's what DigitalChalk does is automate the business of a continuing education business. And that includes a lot of things, but a heavy focus on the creation of content also, and eliminating really the need for an authoring tool in a lot of cases to be able to create that content yourself and manage that, as well as doing the versioning, as well as doing the e-commerce and all the pieces that you need from a community standpoint, gamification standpoint, to manage a modern training business. So, great presentation, great progress on your solution. Hard to believe you guys are pushing into 17, 16 years now or something like that. I remember when your name was brand new. So it's great to see continued progress. And thank you all for updating us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Awesome. Listeners, thanks for tuning in to another Talented Learning Executive Briefing Series. Now you see why this is my favorite series of content. You can't get this kind of education anywhere. And if you're in a continuing education business and you're struggling on an employee LMS designed for an LMS, I encourage you to reach out to these folks. They'll be able to help you out. And there you have it. Have a great day, everyone. We hope to see you on the next. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another Talented Learning production. You can find more of our fiercely independent content on learning systems technology at talentedlearning.com. If you want to show your support, please like and share this video and enter a comment down below and like our YouTube channel. It'd be greatly appreciated and very helpful for us to spread the word. And if you need some independent assistance or guidance in your upcoming learning management system or learning system selection project, please navigate to talentedlearning.com where you can request a complimentary consultation call with me, John Lay, the lead analyst and founder of Talented Learning. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you on the next.